Welcome back, everybody. It's the lower semifinal, and we've got BKO, LRC. That's 3 letters per team, 3 players per team. And Rio, you've also got 3 letters in your name, so I want to hear it from you first. Who we thinking to take this one to get the chance at the redemption arc in the lower final?
I want to see BKO. They just have so much to show us, so much to prove. Gremlin is an amazing player, in my opinion. I do believe, and I said this earlier, that I think he's the best heavy player maybe in the game right now. So I want to see that going up against whoever has made it into the finals. If they don't make it, LRC still has an amazing setup, and I think that it could go either way.
I think the LRC has a really, really good chance at this, especially given the fact that it's Nason 808 we're talking about. This guy has more kills with the defib than a lot of players have overall, and that's in this series. It's crazy. I think that they've got what it takes, but at the same time, I gotta give my shouts to BKO. Someone once told me, a beautiful scholar once said, that if you're in a dark place, just turn on the lights. And that's what BKO's got to do, that they just got to turn the lights on and get going. It's a best of 3, and those 3 maps are going to be on Sys Horizon, Skyway, and Seoul. And now with removing Monaco from the pool from BKO is a huge brain move because they know how LRC plays their Nason 808 unstoppable on Monaco. So I love seeing them get that ban through. But now we're going to be going into Sys Horizon. And when it comes down to Sys Horizon, well, I think that Gremlin is, well, you could say he's a bit of a gremlin.
Yeah, he knows this map. The BKO knows this map, and I just think it's a great map to showcase who these teams are. Nason is going to be able to kind of get good movement on it, and LRC, can fight through the BKO's defensive here, but Gremlin is going to be the player to watch because I wonder if he runs Charge and Slam. I think he tends to run Charge and Slam on this on Sys Horizon. Correct me if I'm wrong, but if he decides to run the Mesh Shield, yeah. We'll just see what he picks because it's going to be a different game style than they've been used to earlier today.
Absolutely, and we can see right there the Charge and Slam for Gremlin is going to be coming through, and this is actually going to be a pretty fun game to look out for, given the fact that it's double heals, both heavies on Lewis gun, both teams have 1 medium shotgun and 1 FCAR, and at the same time, the only major difference is going to be that Charge and Slam on Gremlin versus the Mesh Shield on Blacks. Now, what I'm really, really eager to find out is... Oh, we have a pause. I'm eager to find out if we stay in this lobby. I think we are. We're good. We're good. Okay. I think I'm eager to find out how this slight difference in setup changes the playstyles that we know from these 2 teams.
Yeah, and we see Gremlin getting a good opening on this first vault. They're getting set up because they know they're just right about being pushed. Going to the stairs area, which is a nice area to kind of pocket in. Not sure what's happening. Looks like a commercial break on 1. But we see Nason and his teammates are holding on to those glitch grenades, glitch barrels, because they are quite useful in pushing in this first team fight. They're kind of doing a slow approach. It doesn't even look like they're running. I guess they're waiting to find the opening to intercept on BKO.
I don't think that intercept is going to happen the way that they want it to, given the fact that BKO is pretty much all the way over to A already. Especially when you gotta consider the fact that they're going towards the campus, and the campus cash out is going to be super easy for them to hold, especially with the Charge and Slam. And speaking of which, when we see LRC coming in from the top here, that is going to put them at a slight disadvantage, given the fact that BKO is already very, very deep inside of this building. A lot of damage going to be coming through already on the other side of the map. There is Nason gets cut off from the rest of his team, lose 2 members, but BKO, they have to know that a reset is coming in. They don't want to get this cash out started just yet, but they're going to have to, because they know that if they are going to get caught up in this fight here, that it might be a little bit too late. Oh, I'm seeing double. I'm seeing triple. I'm seeing quadruple, but don't worry, I can tell we're going to be in. All right, so just doubling back here. LRC has reset their inside of the campus building, and Gremlin and team are currently up on the top there. It's Charge and slamming in from the top as we get ready to see the steal come through. Steal starts. There's the charge and slam. We see Gremlin inside the building starting off this fight, but not going to be finishing it off. They actually push LRC back a little bit, looks like, and they're going to be waiting to re-aggress one more time. As we see Gremlin getting ready to charge in through the building, a lot of damage is going to go through, but they will be able to sustain. Spoiler getting cut off while Gremlin goes down. Gremlin is going to be able to get res here as the team starts to push through. Spoiler as well, they're going to be able to find the res. Lots and lots of damage to come through. Nason is going to be the next target as the charge and slam hits, deals a lot of damage finishing with the RPG, and that's going to be a team wipe onto LRC as Gremlin, Mickey, and Op able to sustain through for cash out A.
Yeah, that was amazing. Gremlin had that a perfect rocket, and I've been talking about how the rockets haven't been connecting, and he just, fixed that, changed that, got that close range rocket, and it does look like they will be able to hold on to this first cash out. Even with the respawn, they might get one dive on the point, but I think that this is going to go.
I don't think so. They spawn all the way over at the art gallery. The quick zip over into campus, but at the same time, remember they have to deal with the seed fight because Gremlin could just charge and slam through the roof yet again. And it does look like they will try to aggress this fight here. Nason going through, red barrel out, shotgun in hand, but it's not going to be enough as we got BKO fully baked into the site, ready to hold on for dear life. That's going to be a lot of damage that I don't think that LRC is capable of sustaining through. But the team fight goes on, and it looks like they're able to recover at least a little bit. I don't think a full team wipe is in effect here, but also at the same time, the team... Oh, perhaps it is a full team wipe. We see this coming through. The final kill, that is a team wipe. Wow.
The chase down, and we did see that he was able to use the charge and slam to push somebody off of the point that was actively stealing it. So really good choice in that charge and slam decision on this map. One thing to point out about the charge and slam is that sometimes you can find yourself out of position because you have charged so far forward. Usually you can kind of stop yourself by doing a jump and then kind of slamming into the ground, but it can put you out of a position that you were kind of expected to be in. So Gremlin doing great, really good choice there. We see that they're getting set up. BKO is in a good spot. They're going to get this vault for sure, and I'm curious if they take it to, I think they're probably going to go B. They might be closer to A or C, but I think that they're going to run over to B, yeah. So they've got some good distance. They'll be able to hop on that jump pad, jump on over to cash out B.
Oh, but check out this fight. Nason is doing such good work with this shotgun here. Takes out two. Absolutely insane work here. Just going to be Gremlin upstanding. I think that they will be able to find the kill there as Gremlin goes out. That is a team wipe for BKO. LRC now in control, which is going to be good for them. They get shut out here. That's going to be map 1. But remember that this map is going to be BKO's pick. BKO is fantastic on this map. And if LRC is not able to fully remain in control here, could get sticky.
Yeah, that was a great intercept, and they really played that well, got the right kills, and were able to get it and get in control of the vault. So at this point, we've got both teams showing what they can do defensively and offensively, and really just diving in there before the cash out had even started. Bold move, and it really paid off for them. Now we see Nason trying to knock over the vault. Interesting fact, the reason that they do that is it makes it easier to fall down a little more predictably, and it makes it, I think they're trying to shoot it out the window, or maybe that was by mistake.
Yeah, so they're doing their best to move it with those gas barrels and put it into a better position so it can't just be dropped down into the open by BKO. The BKO, they're going to have time to move in and get set up on the sidelines here. Now they're closer to the site than ever before, and we see LRC holding very strategically in the next doorway. Now, this is a very difficult place to go through in the museum, but as we see Gremlin get ready to charge and slam, he moves over to the side. Huge team fight going to be going through. Gremlin goes down, but he is going to be able to get res. Same thing for Nason. Goes down, able to get res as Mickey is out as well. We will see Mickey get back up from Oppenheimer, but Oppenheimer's gone, and there's no more paddles to be used for him. Mickey and Gremlin, low HP. It's just Gremlin standing, and LRC come out on top in this team fight here. Such a crazy fight. But again, when it's sustain versus sustain, it's all about about who can better manage their heals and their reses. And in that close quarters fight, it just happened to be LRC.
Yeah, and there were some really interesting choices to res right on top of two teammates that were awesome, enemy teammates that were being res as well. So, you know, as soon as they came back, they had to be immediately in a fighting position, and it just didn't work out in the favor of BKO. Thankfully, you know, Nason was able to kind of get his team and bring them back to health, but BKO did find themselves not in a great position. This is great because it's going to come down to the last and final cash out for this first match.
Yeah, and it always has to come down to it when it comes to teams like this. Remember, these teams are here for a reason. We know that they are evenly matched, and that is what I love about the finals. So when we see teams that are fully engaged in this sort of just intense combat, this is so different from what you see normally in just your ranked games of the finals. This next team fight here over Vault 3 is just a little bit of a sneak preview as to what can happen when every team finds themselves in a perfect just 1v1 situation. And BKO, they really focus on, let me finish my kill, let me win my fight. And LRC, they are, hey, let me do what's best for my team. And that isolated gunfight over Vault 3, that gave us a really good insight as to how these teams are thinking. And I'm really curious what this final cash out has in store for us.
Yeah, and interesting that they decided to dive on intercept the enemy team before they even started the vault. So they wanted to bring that fight there, and BKO just felt confident, and it might have been a little overconfidence because they weren't able to pull it off. We saw the Gremlin went down real fast, and now they're going to get set up at the vault location. So maybe in my head it was a little bit of a non-critical fight, maybe just trying to show off that hey, we're still here, we're still in this game, yeah, the next fight will come up here as they're trying to run away.
Huge damage to Nason, 808 across the bridge here. Not going to be a kill though. Nason gets rezzed up through it, and yeah, no big damage here, no big changes. But as Vault 3 gets closer to cash out D, that's going to be LRC remaining in control of the cash out at the very beginning, and time will tell if BKO is going to be able to catch up. Looks like they are getting closer to being able to take out Nason. That is a quick, very good opening. They are able to solo out one other player. That's going to leave just Black standing for the final fight here, and if he can get taken out in the next 5 seconds, it could be a game changer for BKO, but it looks like they're not going to be able to find that in. I believe we will see Nason coining. I believe that we are going to be seeing spoiler coining as well. And now it's time to see how BKO retains control over the cash out. As the reset is coming through, we're now all the way over to the other side of the map in library, actually workspace even. Let's see what they can do in the workspace.
Yeah, I love this cash out because you're able to hide up in this area like they
a Gremlin mid setup. We can see LRC coming in from the back, and they get fully caught off guard here. Luckily, Gremlin able to sustain here as Mickey tries to heal him through. Oppenheimer and Mickey both at very low HP. This is looking not great, but Gremlin solos out one player, and that's Black's going all the way out as Mickey comes in from the heavens to heal. The team is healed up, and RPG damage will come through for the team as BKO does what they can to just find 1v1s and isolate fights here. That is going to be, I believe, one team wipe. There it is. Spoilers out. That's a team wipe for LRC. Insane performance from BKO. And with only 1/4 of the time left for this cash out, I don't think there's enough time for LRC to take this one back.
Yep. An amazing rocket came off from Gremlin too, because it not only did a lot of damage to LRC, it brought the cash out down. So they were trying to steal it, and they just lost it out from underneath them, and a lot of damage, and it really contributed to that team wipe. So Gremlin is in top condition right now. He's now set up in a nice little foam area. I'm gonna have to steal this because that's a great play. And we see the gas going down, and I just don't think that they're going to be able to do anything to stop this. This seems like, yep, there is the game.
Absolutely insane, and that's why you love running Charge and Slam on this map, especially Sys Horizon. The Charge and Slam does so much heavy lifting to be able to make sure that, hey, if they're stealing and you can't blow it down with an RPG, it doesn't matter if they're not in the building.
Yeah, and I love seeing that because it goes off of what people normally play. They normally get the mesh shield because it's say like I like to protect my team. But if you then turn yourself into a powerhouse of damage, a powerhouse of clutching those important kills on the steal out, pushing people away, even just getting somebody pushed off the map, out of an area where you can isolate them and then your team can swarm on them. It's great constructive gameplay. It's cool to see, and I'm curious to see if he keeps holding on to it because he is doing such impactful plays.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it is map dependent because we have seen BKO. Remember when it was Skyway Stadium, we saw them switch back over to the mesh shield. Those longer sight lines across the rooftops, you need to be able to protect your team from that damage. But I think that even on Skyway Stadium or even Monaco, maps where you don't usually see charge and slam, it has intense value, specifically for the fact that you get that free drop when you're playing on height like Gremlin always does. If they're stealing it, you just slam onto the point, and now the point's on the other side of the ground. The player that was stealing it is now in a different room entirely, and especially in a map like Monaco or Skyway where you have buildings that are stacked right next to each other, and you don't want to take the time to go out, just go through straight as one point A to point B. Hey, just straight line.
Yep, and it just goes to say that Gremlin really knows what he's doing. He knows when to pick it, when to use it, and that was a great performance from BKO. I love to see every minute of that, and I think LRC kind of has their work cut out for them going into this next match because, in my opinion, this could be BKO just taking it and running with it.
Yeah, I actually got to talk to BKO a little bit yesterday on the B stream, and after they had sort of completed their run, I talked to them and asked like what their overall strategy is. And Oppenheimer gave me a really good sight into that, and that is that they have pretty much mastered their communications when it comes to when Op and Mickey are healing and when they're shooting. And it's so important because this is a thing that teams often overlook because a lot of gamers, especially today, it's too cool to just not calm, right? I'm too cool to tell you what I'm doing and to call out everything. But when you're actually really serious about winning and utilizing team strats, having just a code word for out of heals so that you don't have to explain, hey, I am now out of heals. I am going to reposition myself to start shooting the enemy team. Can you please heal my heavy? If you could turn all that into one word, it's so good. And so that's kind of what they focus on, right? Is to try to figure out not just, hey, we're going to figure out how to push this team individually. They are really working on timing for playing for themselves, putting their heavy up front, making sure that when the medium who has the jump pad is in the right spot, that they can get that jump pad out for Gremlin at the right time. And so when you're looking at BKO, that's what you got to look at, is that team synergy.
Yeah, and communication wins. Honestly, if you have a good communication, if you have a good rapport with your team, it can make all the difference because you need your team to trust you. So you can have a team that you make calls out for, and there is a moment when you hear a call, whether you decide to act on it or whether you decide to throw out a different strategy or do something like that. But the more that you trust your teammates, trust their calls, trust their communication, the more you can work as like one unit, and then you're just one strong player basically instead of like three people running around. And I think that that's what's important. And I'm glad that you're able to talk to them because that's a really good insight into the way the BKO works.
Exactly. And making sure that you have the ability to just fully be in control of whatever situation comes your way. That is the most important thing. Now, I believe that we are currently lobby shopping right now, trying to find our way into the next map. But let's go ahead and take a look at those stats. Here is BKO and LRC. This is pretty insane to see that we've got kind of the revival coming as LRC. Look at that. Is that 19 kills total? And then for BKO also as well, 19 kills.
Huh. Yeah. And I kind of am not shocked by this actually, because both of these teams are so evenly matched. Their loadouts are similar, the way that they play is similar, and it does look like the kill counts. I mean, even from player to player, like there's a one difference. Like it's pretty interesting to see. These are two teams that just should be competing against each other, should have kind of that competitive nature, and yeah, you love to see it.
Yeah, I really can tell that these teams are super, super evenly matched, and that means that the format is working, right? The teams that deserve to be playing against each other absolutely are. And, you know, we talked about this a little bit, I believe, yesterday, just about, you know, when it comes down to how evenly the score lines are, it can really show off the micro performance changes that separate
Mhm.
these teams. Because when you have teams like BKO and LRC that are coming at each other head to head, there really is just subtle differences in how they play on each map, how they play with their utility, how they communicate in certain situations. And we're able to see all of that here.
Yeah, and this is where the variations of maps kind of impacts how they play, because one team might be better on Sys Horizon, one team might be better on Skyway Stadium, and I think that yeah, now we're moving into Skyway Stadium. Do we have any variation to this one, or is this
Yes,
just
it is going to be high rise. So this is high rise, and we have Gremlin staying on charge and slam. So this is actually going to be huge for us because we'll finally be able to see charge and slam being used, like I said, in these tight corridors. And I'm really curious if this is going to be changing how Gremlin, Op, and Mickey choose which cash outs that they need to push into. Now, at the start of the match here, looks like, unfortunately for LRC, they got the entire opposite spawn in construction. The vault will spawn in office. That means BKO has the upper hand at the office spawn. They will be able to control this vault. And the next question is going to be, what cash out will they go, and will the charge and slam be enforcing that decision? You look at where those cash outs are. Looks like cash out station A will be over towards the center of the map, over in the hospital area. Actually, might even be construction.
Yeah, and I'm curious where they're taking as well. And we can see that they're kind of setting up. They're waiting for the push from BKO, and we see that Gremlin is following his team. And I think that they're going to cash out A. They're taking kind of a roundabout way so that they don't get cut off, but they are going to bounce pad over and then be right on top of cash out A.
Yep, and this is in the residential district. And so I think that usually teams would opt to go for a slightly different approach. This is not the common first cash out, but because Gremlin is running that charge and slam, this is going to give him a really good opportunity to go through walls like we see right here. The big, there it is, through the wall, and going to be doing some damage. I believe that's going to be a quick elim for LRC. BKO still has all three members standing, and I think it's just going to be up to Blacks now as one more teammate goes down. You see Gremlin getting res through, and I think we're approaching a team wipe. There it is. That's a team wipe here for LRC. BKO still in control. That charge and slam looking tasty.
Yeah, and there was that moment where you could see that BKO just starts the chase. And if you're on LRC and being chased by three people, you just know that it's got to be terrifying. I'm curious to see how they pivot, because we're halfway through this cash out, and LRC really needs to kind of get something going, because BKO is showing that they kind of have some force already. It's early in the match, but boy, they have some good staying power, and they've got a great defense that LRC is going to have to push through.
Yep, and speaking of push through, LRC going to be pushing through to the top of the hotel here, and they're going to be pushing right into Grem, Op, and Mickey's defense. See Nason taking the damage, but spoiler, that goes out first, and there it is. We see Nason getting charged and slammed off the roof. I believe that spoiler might be able to get res here. There it is. The res is going to come through for spoiler, and now the question is, will Blacks be able to stay alive, because we know he's the next target. He goes out as the team fully focuses in. Spoiler not in a good section to get the res. This is so unfortunate. He's making a lot of noise, which means that BKO is going to find him. And there it is. Unfortunately, just before the coin came through for Nason. That's a team wipe, and that is going to be the end of that cash out run, as cash out A goes to BKO.
Yeah, it's a shame to see him miss kind of those jump pads, because if he would have gotten that first one, he probably could have res his teammate, because he was out in the open area. He was on top of that platform that moves up. And if he got that res, it would have been able to get a teammate up, and then he could have gone for the second revive on teammate inside the building. So a little bit of a shame that the jump pad just didn't work out in their favor, but that is the unpredictability of this at times.
Yeah, I am a huge supporter of the Charge and Slam, and I believe that we will see BKO be in control of Vault 2, but it looks like LRC is close on the take here. They are right behind. Looks like they're deciding on a cutoff strategy instead, opting to move towards the residential district and stay atop the high-rise just to get the ability to rotate anywhere that they need to.
Yeah, I think that's the smartest strategy. Take the fight where you have a little bit more space you can set up, and then maybe ambush them, because I think that LRC just needs to find any advantage that they can. Nissan is kind of setting up, watching that movement, looking for any indication of which way they're going, and I think they just set up a zip line, or there might be one already there. Curious if they take it or if they just kind of hold this area, because
Nissan lobs a grenade. Oh, it's gonna hit Gremlin, do a little bit of damage to the team as they rotate, but they won't be able to capitalize on that damage just yet. Instead, BKO now gonna be turning like they are very, very upset. Gonna deal a little bit of damage in return. See Nissan getting hit. Spoiler as well. I believe that is going to be the first kill going on Nissan. Spoiler close on the res. Will he be able to get it? There it is. The defib coming through, but spoiler low. Black's taken out. Nason dead again, and that's another team wipe here in just a moment for LRC's. BKO now retains control and can choose the cash out. Will it be here in a state? I think so.
Wow, did you see that? Oppenheimer has 7 kills already. BKO are furious. They are just trying to get this done. They want to go, and they're like, we shouldn't be in the losers round. And I think that they're really playing at the top of their game right now.
And if it comes down to this, really, I mean, they've started the cash out, and LRC, they've got time for one solid push, but if they can't get this push in, then they'll have maybe enough time for one more if they go fast. But if they bide their time here and see them on the horizon, are they about to take the zip? It looks like they are. They're just going to be... They're taking the zip straight into the estate here.
No glitch.
Seeing a little bit of damage, but...
trying to get two pushes in here. I think that's what they're trying to do. We see that Gremlin set up in a nice position in the air.
The gas misses to the side. We see they're pushing in for the seal. I don't think they're going to be able to get into it. Looks like a pad is set up. We will see a pad RPG the moment that they hear that seal. Dome shield going up as well. Charge and slam damage going to be coming through. But Gremlin is caught out. He's going to get taken out here. And I believe Nason and Spoiler are close enough to be able to do a little bit of healing. And I think that they're down to this. It's just going to be one player left for BKO. Will they be able to take him out? They do, and that's a BKO team wipe. LRC in control.
Wow, that was an explosive performance. They just came in there and just took control and forced BKO to go from their higher position, and it really worked out in their favor. They got the kills that they needed. They got the reses that they needed.
Remember, we are on the quick cash format, so it's going to be a faster team wipe respawn than we saw yesterday, and that means that Gremlin is going to have a chance to get in and get this take very soon. We actually see there is a ton of gas set up, and BKO is going to have to deal with that by throwing it away. Will they have the time to get in and deal with it that way? Looks like they do. We can see that there's not a lot of gas on the platform, and a grenade in the back line, though. If we see Nason getting inserted into the back, that's going to be a huge amount of damage. I think we are going to be seeing another team wipe here. We are. BKO taken out. That's LRC still in the running. There's going to be a third cash out here today. And even though BKO, fueled by rage, they want to make it through this, now they're fueled up even more.
Yeah, Nason on that F-car was doing great damage. I'm not sure if he got a lot of the kills, but I saw multiple enemies just go down to a quarter health, if not lower. And, that's where the teamwork really comes in, and they were able to kind of swoop in and kind of get it. And I did see another rocket from Gremlin where he tried to shoot and get that entrance, and he just missed. And it ended up just shooting on the floor. He had to throw down the dome shield, and it just didn't work out in his favor. So BKO kind of going uphill right now, but after what we've seen, I think that they still have a chance. It's just going to come down to if they can take over this next vault.
Yeah, and I do think that BKO is going to have the ability to determine where it goes. I think they're going to be pushing it into the business office space, but the real question is on the office space, because we're on the high rise, and it is on the top of the office rather than with the interior spawns, will we see some damage coming through from the outside? Wait, what is this? A flank from LRC, we see Mickey and Oppenheimer getting taken out immediately here. It's just up to Gremlin. Gremlin will have the ability to back out. He takes out Spoiler, takes a jump pad up to the top here, but it's not looking like he's going to be able to survive. And Gremlin looks like he makes it out just a little bit. Oh, he's
out of position. Yeah, he was just out of position because he was already on the zip line getting ready to take it.
Flank.
Amazing play. I thought that they were going to wait until the cash out started, but nope. They came in. LRC was like, we're taking this right now. We're getting this started. And really caught everybody, including us, by surprise.
Yeah, and this is going to be difficult for BKO now because this is such an exposed position at the top of the business office. Remember, you have to take the pad either from open office or sorry, it is in open office. They're going to have to take the pad either from a state or from the business office area. It's going to leave a lot of room for them to just get shot at, especially because they don't have that mesh shield. I think that if BKO wants to have a chance at this, they need to go from underneath. So if they enter from this underside, which actually LRC is actually pressuring them to do, that's gonna give them the best chance at winning. But remember, this is such an awkward position for the cash out to be in. It's on a small metal platform above that doesn't always get destroyed when you RPG it from underneath. So we will need to expel all of the utility that we can here, maybe even some red barrels. But wait, I don't think that BKO is deciding to do that. We see them open up the sideline here. APS turret and gas on the sidelines, but it's BKO rotating in from the stairs. They only have time for this one push here. We see the domes. We see the pad going out. Pad actually taking Gremlin out of position. A lot of damage going through, but it's a glitch that stalls them out for time here. And LRC is just stable. They're just unmoving over by the pad, over by the position here on site. And Gremlin needs to just find his way in, but he gets caught out. No mesh shield means no ability to get in. But we are going to see a lot of damage go through. Spoiler goes out. Nason goes out. It's just up to Blacks. As Blacks goes out, that means BKO is going to be able to get the steal. BKO takes the steal. That's going to be not enough time for LRC to come through. That's a win for BKO. 2 in a row. LRC not getting a map on the board, and that's going to be the end of the lower semifinal with BKO taking the win here. Absolutely incredible, as unfortunately LRC is eliminated from the Breakout Esports Masters Series, and BKO goes on to the lower finals.
Wow. What a last push that was. That was so exciting to watch. I'm amazed that they just pivoted because they were going to drop it. Like, they were getting set up. You could see the rocket. You could see Gremlin right underneath it. And then some call came out from the team, and they were just like, no, we need to come in directly on point. And they ran in there. They were able to get the kills right when they needed it. And I think that they just made the smartest plays I've seen today.
Wow. Absolutely incredible performance from BKO. I cannot believe the energy that we saw from that. Absolutely incredible. And that puts BKO one step closer to winning that over $600 prize pool at the end of the day. Again, thank you to our generous sponsor, Burrito Supreme, for adding the dollar signs to the end of that amount. But yeah, this is such insane gameplay here. And unfortunately, LRC, they gave it their all, but I'm sure that we will see them again for Split 2. But we are going to be getting ready to jump into our winners final, which is going to be Berts versus Yappers, the loser of which will have to fight BKO. BKO, not done yet. They still got to win one more if they want a chance at that grand final. So we're going to come with you to that winners final after this quick look at the stats for the match that we just saw. You thought I was gonna send it to a break, didn't you? You thought I was gonna, I got you. You gotta stay on your toes, chat. We got a scoreboard to look at. We got a scoreboard to look at.
How this plays out, because I saw a lot of reses, I saw a lot of team wipes, a lot of kills. Nason was putting in some work for LRC. Gremlin had some great shots going off, so curious to see what these stats show at the end.
Absolutely. I mean, you remember we saw Oppenheimer at all 8 kills before the end of the second cash out. So I really need to see the kills here. Yeah. Waiting patiently. Here it is. Alrighty, scoreboard time it is, and there's Oppenheimer, 10 kills, Gremlin on 7 kills, and the reason that we saw the 2-0 scoreline here today, Mickey, only 1 kill is what you might be seeing there, but with a rating of 7.94, KDA of 3.0, Mickey was not out here getting fragged, he was out here surviving and healing.
Yeah, and that's just as important. You know, you might not have to go for the kills, but as long as you can support your teammates and make sure that they can get the important kills, that's what all that matters. And it definitely paid off because we see the Gremlin and Oppenheimer, 17 kills between them, and that's more than the enemy team combined. So just really impressive, great gameplay. I think that every player on these teams just stepped up and gave us a great performance.
Yeah, it's definitely some of the best finals I've seen in a while, and it is just going to get better because, again, these teams are meant to be here today. So, without further ado, we'll go ahead and see how BKO is able to stack up later. But before we get into that, it's the winners final up next. We'll see Berts and Yappers right after this break.
Rocket. Ok, mid HP, Levi. Nice. Mort.
Mais c'est point.
Je tue. Mort.
La charge est OP.
Tue. Mort. Nice.
Il est bien sur
Sur
le
le
lourd.
Je tue. Ok, vas-y, je tue.
I'll put again.
Healing.
Heavy's charged. Heavy's half. Heavy dead. I need a path.
No, I got mine.
What the fuck? This fucking tapping it.
Ouais,
là.
Y'en a un sur le... Il est là, Mort. Le heavy. Oh, non. Il arrive sur le
What the? Shoot it! Oh my god, I did so much damage.